So I'm headed out for a fun trip with my friend on her birthday, and I was thinking down the rabbit hole of my ADHD brain that just goes everywhere and goes deep quick. And I was thinking about people that I love and wanting them to know the truth and know that Jesus is real. And I think there's a lot of voices out there that can make an argument that sounds relatively believable or even quite convincing, but it's always only given in partial truths, and it omits full truths. So when you seek full truth, you find that Jesus is the most well-known person in history, is more well-documented than any person in history, and the Bible has more manuscript evidence than any work of antiquity. And so I was thinking of all the different things I would want to say to people I love, and if I was gone, where would I point them so that they would know truth? Where would I send them? Or what would I leave behind for them to still find Jesus? And so I was thinking about someone I know who was raised by a dad who was emotionally and verbally abusive, and he claimed to be a Christian, and he was incredibly controlling and spiritually abusive. And so his family is left in the aftermath of that mess. And one of his kids, who I love very much, who is a good friend to me, I can tell she's not convinced anymore that God is real. And it breaks my heart, because her messed up dad did that to her. I mean, he didn't decide that for her, but he put this intensive, horrible view of Christ, of Jesus and God in her head. And now there's tons of voices out there that are trying to rationalize away the truth of the Bible. And so if I was to tell people that I love places to go to know that the Bible is so beyond incredibly true. It's truth. It is the truth. I would send them to Wes Huff. I would tell you, go look up Wesley Huff. He has some amazing stuff on Can You Trust the Bible? I would say go look at Mike Winger's he has 2 videos about the New Testament, and he talks about variants that atheists like to pull up and try to make it sound like it's so bad. But even Bart Ehrman, the most renowned atheist, says that even with all variants, which is a whole long story that you need to go watch those videos, nothing in the essence of the Bible's gospel, the truth of the Bible, the Christian faith, is affected by it. And those variants are incredible when you really learn about them. Actually, it's not what an atheist makes it sound like. So Mike Winger does like 2 hours on that, and it's really good. Definitely worth listening to. Wesley Huff, J. Warner Wallace from Cold Case Christianity is fabulous. I think Sean McDowell has a bunch of stuff on that. I like Answers in Genesis, has a lot of information on like a scientific perspective of how evolution is actually, you have to take your brain out to believe in evolution, and there's more evidence for God than there is for evolution. And then Dr. James Tour has some incredible videos. He's a scientist, and how he talks about what the origin of life studies are and what they actually do to prove that evolution is true. And it's just mind-boggling. He's so intelligent. In like 15 minutes you're gonna like need to take notes and get a drink of water and coffee, because you're like, wait, what just happened? That was incredible. And so I have created a website. I did this a long time ago, and I've been trying to tweak it, but I did it because Mormons came to my door, or LDS, however they prefer to be called. They came to my door, and I knew what they believed was untrue because I knew my Bible well. But I started researching their religion super intensely, and I I was digging in my Bible like crazy. Like, I would spend sometimes multiple hours in the day between what I was doing, looking up different scripture verses. And I had a new baby, and I had just left a church that was kind of new thought. Now that I look back, like, I don't think they're as bad as other churches, but it was headed in a sort of Bethel elevation path. And very, very obscurely, you may not spot it right off the bat, but it was. And so I also went down this intensive path of researching what's new age, what's new thought. I had a lot of friends who were believing in prosperity gospel. And so I created this website that has a page for my LDS friends. It has a page about false versions of Christianity, or maybe misunderstood Christians, might be a better way to say it. Or not misunderstood. Christians who misunderstand. Not misunderstood Christians. Forgive me. I need coffee. And then I have a page about Bible authenticity. Is the Bible true? And so, I want to tell you to please go to the resources I have said. Please go to that website if you want tons and tons and tons and tons of books and resources and videos to watch about it. And I even have a couple talks linked on there that I gave, and I'm new to this, so forgive me for their roughness. But I just am so passionate about truth and people knowing the truth. And I hate deception. Being deceived is heartbreaking. It totally breaks you inside. And I know that people who have been deceived are going to have to go through this kind of grief and hurt of the fact they've been deceived. But I would so much rather them know God and know the truth and make it through that hardship than allow them to stay deceived and miss out on the goodness of God. So, I love you. If you need a Bible, you message me, comment, I'll get you one, okay? Have a great day.